Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adib Hakim Dzakwan Syah, and I will tell you about the Russian cyber attack on Ukraine as my final exam. The first introduction. The Russian cyber attack on Ukraine is one of the most significant events in the history of cybersecurity. It showed that cyber power can be used as an effective and dangerous weapon of war. The Russian cyber attack targeted variety of crucial Ukrainian infrastructure, including power plants, hospitals, and financial system. It also aimed to spread disinformation and propaganda to disrupt public opinion and weaken international support of Ukraine. In this discussion, I will discuss the Russian cyber attack on Ukraine in depth. I will discuss the background of the attack, the motivation of the perpetrators, and the impact of the attack. And lastly, the response of the international community. I hope this discussion will provide a better understanding of the Russian cyber attack on Ukraine and its implication for global security. Russian cyber attack on Ukraine background. Increased Russian cyber activity against Ukraine was detected as early as January 2022. This activity included the installation of malware on critical Ukrainian computer system. In February 2022, a large-scale DDoS attack targeted Ukrainian government and bank websites, disrupting crucial operations. Post-invasion. The Russian military invasion of Ukraine began on February 24, 2022 and was accompanied by a more intense wave of cyber attacks. Pro-Russian hacking groups launched destructive malware attacks, surveillance, and data theft against Ukrainians' critical infrastructure. The hacker group Anonymous also declared cyber war against Russia, launching attacks against Russian government websites and companies. The Ukrainian government also formed the Ukrainian IT Army, which consists of global volunteers with technical skills to help defend the country's digital infrastructure. Motivations. The Russian cyber attack on Ukraine had several motivations, including to cripple critical Ukrainian infrastructure, to spread disinformation and propaganda, to disrupt Ukraine's economic and financial activity, and lastly, to complement military operations. The impact. The Russian cyber attack on Ukraine have had a significant impact, including damage to critical infrastructure, theft of sensitive data, to spread of disinformation and propaganda, and increase international tension. Russian cyber attack on Ukraine violate international law. The Russian cyber attack on Ukraine have violated the several international law, including first, the principle of non-aggression. This principle prohibits to use military force against another state, including cyber attack. Second, the principle of non-intervention. This principle prohibits interference in the internal affairs of another state, including cyber attack targeting civilian infrastructure. Third, the principle of the use of force in self-defense. This principle permits the use of military force that is lawful, such as in self-defense or to enforce international law. In addition, the Russian cyber attack also violated several international agreements, including the Geneva Convention. This convention protects civilians and military personnel who are wounded or captured in armed conflict. Russian cyber attack targeting civilians and civilians' infrastructure violate the provisions of this convention. Secondly, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. This covenant protects human rights, including the right to privacy and freedom of expression. Russian cyber attack targeting civilian infrastructure may violate the provisions of the covenant. And there are some specific examples of how the Russian cyber attack violated the international law. First, in February 2022, a DDoS attack targeted Ukrainian government and bank website, disrupting a critical operation. This attack violated the principle of non-aggression and non-intervention. Secondly, in March 2022, destructive malware targeted a critical Ukrainian infrastructure. including power plants and hospitals. This attack violated the principles of non-aggression and the use of force in self-defense. Third and last, in April 2022, Russian disinformation and propaganda target Ukrainian and international public opinion. This attack violated the principle of non-intervention and the right to information. The Russian cyber attack on Ukraine are a serious violation of international law. These attacks are a serious threat to global security and must be stopped. On my opinion, Russian cyber attacks on Ukraine are unjustifiable. The Russian cyber attack on Ukraine are an unjustified act. These attacks violate international law and pose a serious threat to global security. The motivation for the Russian cyber attack is clear: to weaken and conquer Ukraine. The attacks targeted critical Ukrainian infrastructure, including power plants, hospitals, and financial system. They also aim to spread disinformation and propaganda to disturb public opinion and weaken international support of Ukraine. The impact of the Russian cyber attack has been severe. The attacks have caused damage to critical infrastructure, theft of sensitive data, and the spread of disinformation. They also increase international tension and raise the risk of escalation of cyber conflict. I do not support the Russian cyber attack on Ukraine. These attacks are a dangerous and unacceptable act. They must be stopped immediately and the perpetrators must be brought to the justice. Here are some specific reasons why I do not support the Russian cyber attack on Ukraine. First, the attack violated international law. International law prohibits the use of military force against another state. Secondly, the attack poses a serious threat to global security. Cyber attack can be used to cripple critical infrastructure and spread disinformation. The third, the attack are unethical. The attack targets civilians and infrastructure that are not involved in the military conflict. I think that's all for my discussion about the cyber attacks of the Russian to the Ukraine. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.